Oh, you think you know everything about this Comey Sand message. You just are getting to the tip of the spear here. So let me get this straight for you. This is completely open Pandora's box. A beach, a number, and a message so cryptic, it sends Secret Service scrambling. James Comey, that's right. James Comey decides it's a great day to post what looks like a mafia-style hit signal. Meanwhile, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Tulsi Gabbard, they spring into action and drop a nuclear truth bomb. What's it all surrounding? See the graphic on your screen? You're all familiar with it. I know you are. If you followed me for any amount of time, you're familiar with this graphic. There's one man on it here who just decided to make a very critical error, and I'm putting that lightly. Remember, the executive order, Kash Patel bringing something to Congress, and now, well, a lot of these folks are running, aren't they? But sometimes when you run and you get scared, you make a very big error. I'm going to show you why. Why Dan Scavino himself, what did he post immediately thereafter? Not just FAFO. In other words, mess around and find out. No, he put a Phil Collins song up. Do you know which one? Because it tells you exactly what's coming. And that's the story I'll bring you in 1 minute. Let me get this all straight, right? The former FBI director, James Comey, accidentally posts something that looks like an execution order against President Trump. Just days after the Deep State's favorite skeleton closet gets kicked wide open. Look, if you still believe in coincidence, you know I most certainly do not. But if you do, I got a Chinese spy balloon I'd like to sell you. New FBI document confirms the Trump campaign was investigated without justification on the Hill. And if you knew about the executive order that's already been out there, immediately declassification of materials related to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Crossfire Hurricane investigation, and you knew that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are now running that, and you knew that you were the old lead, the FBI director, you probably want to keep your mouth shut a little bit better, don't you? Because ex-director Comey just opened Pandora's box on himself, and by the end of this video, I'll show you exactly why he says it himself. Could you tell I'm a little excited about this one? Pissed off and excited. You know, I don't fear any of these folks, and either does President Trump. So I'm not sitting here biting my nails. Concerned, no, they're going to be taken care of quickly by a deep investigation and a major inconvenience because their brains don't work, thankfully for us. But before I tread into it, make sure you're still subscribed. If you're new here, something caught your interest, well, you found your real home for black and white news, because I take the stories that are hitting mainstream media and I break them down through the proper perspective for you here, and then I let you decide. If you enjoy that, and I know many of you do, because so many of you joined as members here, there's a button right below. Go ahead and click on it. It's really one means of showing your support. Make sure these videos keep up. Make sure you're subscribed. Your super thanks always appreciated. And if you could do me a huge favor today, this channel has a sponsor, an amazing sponsor called Noble Gold Investments. But I need a favor. Are you ready for this? I got my own gold address, Justus Knight. Gold.com. You see it on your screen. JustusKnightGold.com, or you can also call 877-646-5347. There's more information in the description box below, but let me give you a little rundown before we get to the incredible offer. Because there's a hard truth here. Every 6 years, did you know your dollar loses half of its buying power? Well, that's until President Trump came in, right? That's $100,000 in savings today. It could feel like $50,000 by 2031. But there's a way to protect and preserve your money, and you know what that is? It's gold. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to own gold or silver. No pressure, no call centers, just honest one-on-one support, just like you get here on this channel. Open a qualified account and get a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. You see it there on your screen. That's an incredible offer. All I need you to do is go to justusknightgold.com. Or again, call the number in the description box below. And remember, there's always a risk to investing, no guarantees. But if anyone can see you through that risk cycle, it is Noble Gold Investments, an amazing sponsor who brought you this video today. I need you to go to justusknightgold.com right now. But now, let's get back to this video. So let's get straight to it. This is an easy one to get through. You've all seen the message in the sand, and that's where the mainstream media will stop, and even some conservative pundits will stop. How dare he? Well, it's obvious how dare he. You can't do this. You shouldn't do this. And you shouldn't just bald-faced lie about it, in our humble opinion. I just happened to find 8647 sitting in the sand. Give me a break. And you actually expect the people to believe that. What does 86 mean? You know what it means? If you work at restaurants, you know what 86 means. It means it's off the menu. Of course, there's a more cryptic meaning behind it. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary, with the Associated Press, defines 86 as a slang term meaning to throw out, to get rid of, or refuse service to. Now, be honest, have you ever been 86 from someplace? Come on now. You can tell me the truth, it happens. But nonetheless, the dictionary also notes among the most recent senses adopted is a logical extension of the previous one, which means to kill. We do not enter this sense due to its relative recency and sparseness of use. Of course, they're going to try to cover a little bit. However, if you've been from some of the big cities, maybe you know some people, some friends, some associates, the term 86 refers to taking someone 8 miles out of town and putting them 6 feet under. Oh, trust me, Comey knew exactly what it meant, although he declares in the image that this was the worst excuse cover ever given in the history of Instagram. Probably overinflating it a little bit, but you get the idea. I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk, which I assumed were a political message. So you knew it referred to the 47th President of the United States of America, being President Trump. And being the FBI director, I'm sure you knew what 86 meant too. So stop. Wait, never mind. You've always lied to us. I didn't realize some folks associated those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down too late. Too late. It's on record. You took something else down too, didn't you? Oh, my audience is about to learn exactly what you took down, Mr. Little Comey. Oh, we got a whole story to bring you. Now, of course, White House spokesperson comes out. While President Trump is currently on an international trip to the Middle East, some would say he's in the sand and getting a threat in the sand. Don't think that was not a coincidence, by the way, that he found that in the sand and Trump is in the Middle East. Anybody connecting the dots here? Oh, I'm sure the Secret Service will connect the dots because they're going to connect it to something else also. The former FBI director puts out what can clearly be interpreted as a hit on the President of the United States of America. A message etched in the sand. This is deeply concerning to all of us and is being taken seriously. Oh, it doesn't stop there. Kash Patel, we're all aware of a recent social media post by former FBI Director James Comey, directed at President Trump. We are in communication with the Secret Service and the director. Primary jurisdiction is with the Secret Service on these matters, and we, the FBI, will provide all support necessary, especially when you, Mr. Comey, have already been, under list of concern. Because Patel told you, and Trump told you that already, but I know it's hard to listen, right? Maybe you and AOC are probably having coffee in the morning together. You both can't comprehend very simple facts. So what does the Secret Service come out and state? We vigorously investigate anything that can be taken. I get excited. When I get excited, I trip over my words. I'm right on the overpassionate side right now. I'm trying to keep this as lighthearted as I can because this is serious, folks. No joke for Comey on this one. Anything that can be taken as a potential threat against our protectees, we are aware of the social media posts by the posts. Interesting. By the former FBI director, and we take rhetoric like this very seriously. But beyond that, we do not comment on protective intelligent matters. Whose door got knocked on last night? Oh, Tulsi jumped into action too.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person with the position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
Okay, just starting here. In the comments below, do you believe, based on this action, that James Comey should be behind bars or not behind bars? Pretty easy. Behind bars, not behind bars. Blow up the comments, please. I believe I know what the residing response will be, but let's go further here. Charles Marino, a former Secret Service agent and national security experts tell me James Comey is going to have a very, very, very long night. That was last night, of course. From his experience in the United States Secret Service, he predicts the Washington field office for the United States Secret Service and FBI have already been activated and either already have or are planning to pay Comey a visit tonight to interview him about the threatening social media posts against Trump. Oh, I feel so bad. I hope I see him today on an interview with very large bags underneath his eyes, showing that he had a very, very long evening. Because you see, there's a lot of dots that could be connected here. We don't have to go through the codes of threats against the president. That's black and white. It exists. You can't threaten to kill a president. That never ends well for anyone, especially when the president doesn't like you. And Kash Patel is trying to clean up a portion of the mess you made. And many within the administration all know exactly that they were targeted by you. So probably if you want to just keep a peaceful life, the last thing you want to do is put up that Instagram post. But that shows you that there's not much working up here with many of these ex-officials now, is there? Charles Marino said there could be some flexibility in choosing which U.S. attorney and whose jurisdiction it will be in, because social media posts are everywhere and they impact every jurisdiction. So you don't have to worry about this one landing on Boasberg's desk now, do ya? So, yes, there's a chance it could go before Judge Jeanine Pirro. That would maybe make for some fiery cable TV coverage, to say the least. Again, trying to keep this as lighthearted as we can. But Dan Scavino, and I'll show you where Dan was when he posted this, FAFO. I know many of you, some of you don't know what that means. I'm going to not say the first expletive, but I'll say mess around and find out. Well, where was Dan at that time? He saw the post. He puts up a song, I Can Feel It, Coming in the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. I can't play it because we'll get copyright, but I think y'all know the song, and I think you know the message. I know what you did. I know what you did. And it's coming now. And where was Dan and who was he sitting with? Oh, look at that. There's President Trump as they're flying into the United Arab Emirates at the time. So who do you think's leading this charge now? Oh, call me you. Nice timing, bud. For us. Secretary Kristi Noem, disgraced former FBI Director James Comey, just called for the assassination of President of the United States. DHS and Secret Service is investigating the threat and will respond appropriately. Ooh, my tab crashed. It appears something else crashed. You see, that's very applicable to what I'm about to cover for you. Ex-FBI Chief Comey's 8647 social media post condemned by White House's attempt to put hit on the president. That's pretty black and white headline. Donald Trump Jr. not so happy. James Comey casually calling for my dad to be murdered. This is who the Democratic media establishment worship? That's demented. It's sad. It's twisted. Andy Biggs, disgraced former FBI director, is calling for President Trump to be eliminated. Of course, he copied Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, which this story now circles back to. Funny thing is, I had to re-record that segment because I didn't look at the photo below that was in what I was showing. There's details that people don't understand. We have to watch out for every day. I could have showed it, but not really appropriate. So people forget. I have to digress for a moment because I was laughing my butt off when I looked down and saw what was in the photo. Patel just sent to Congress 700 pages about a little investigation you probably know called Crossfire Hurricane, the illegitimate investigation into the Trump campaign. And within those 700 pages, which, mind you, people have fought for years, FBI Director Kash Patel, no such thing as coincidence. Going back to my opening statement, never anything as such as coincidence. No, Comey more than likely did this for a very good reason, because he is scared. We'll just say that. FBI Director Kash Patel has submitted numerous pages of declassified documents to Congress pertaining to the Bureau's Crossfire Hurricane investigation, which focused on unfounded claims of Trump-Russia collusion. Following executive order. There's an executive order out there on this too? Oh, Comey, come on, man. You can keep up with the news. I know there's a couple brain cells still firing up there. Trump mandated that they be declassified. 700 pages. Delivered on April 9th of 2025, and that circles back to Bongino now. Acquired by Just the News. The action taken by Trump and Patel pertains to a March executive order intended to finalize the declassification of documents associated with the FBI's Trump-Russia investigation, an initiative that's been obstructed by Trump's own Justice Department in January 2021, and the Biden administration, and Merrick Garland, and Christopher Wray, who never wanted these pages out because there's really bad information in there. At least we'll hope. Maybe it's going to be like the Epstein files and we'll never actually see them, but I digress. Dan Bongino, he corrected a lot of guys like me. He tried to. Dan, we can have our opinions here. We can get a little bit irritated when things take a while, understanding the background behind it. I like to update you on some things that I think are going well and some things that we can and will do better. When was this posted? This was posted on Saturday. Interesting foray into a lot of different details, but one in particular that he just so happened to mention. Crossfire Hurricane. So in other words, we're clearing information to Congress and the public as quickly as possible. In just a couple months since we've sworn in, I've responded to requests for information on the attack on Representative Scalise and members of Congress, the Nashville attack, and Crossfire Hurricane. So as this investigation and as this release of information is now finally hitting Congress and will finally be seen by the public, the key players within it, who should know by now exactly they are being, reviewed. Comey defends Crossfire Hurricane probe, but admits flaws. Oh, there was more than flaws. This was from 2020. Fast forward to the executive order of holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive government information, and walk through the list in this graphic, you'll realize that Clapper and Brennan, security clearance revoked. What about Comey, I wonder? Statement of the revocation of security clearance of former director of Central Intelligence Agency, John. This was 2018, of which Trump already told you that he is laser focused back then, and probably even more so now laser focused on a larger group of individuals who, ouch. So if you're watching Clapper and Brennan and McCabe and Yates and Page and Orr and Strzok, and I guarantee you a few more on that list, and you're watching Comey, and they're releasing documents on you, and Congress is going to take those declassified documents, review them, and release them to the public, probably the worst living time in the universe to post anything would be right now. But that's what Comey did. A threat against the president. Later giving an atrocious, horrendous, and despicable explanation as to why he did it. But then if you want to show you're guilty even more, what would you do next if you were Comey? What would be the worst thing you could do to show exactly how guilty you are? You know what you'd do? You'd delete your Instagram account. Because that's what James Comey just did. I know, keeping you on the pulse of truth at all times. Mr. Comey, You're just about to FAFO now, aren't you? There's our message in the sand. That was put up by Town Hall. I thought it was absolutely genius to put a little ray of sunshine on this story, because if anything, any series of events you could have done to appear more guilty, you have now done. When they can't silence the truth, they try to bury it, literally. Comey buries his Instagram page. But the ground's too frozen, too chilly, too icy right now, isn't it for you? And Trump's still breathing fire. And his administration's breathing fire. Comey may have posted a number, but Patel and Bongino just posted evidence. And the walls are closing in on the very people who tried to destroy a presidency. Let the crossfire hurricane finale come storming in, and it will wash away everything that remains. So now, why do you think Comey posted that? Was that out of desperation, miscalculation, or anger? I wonder, huh? No matter what you say it is, posting 8647 is going to land you in a world of trouble right now. And let's just watch the fireworks begin. My friends, this was a monumental, not overly important story, but in some ways, a lot more important than most will realize, because it's telling you that Trump and his administration are having an impact, because they are forcing now miscalculations. And that is what pressure campaigns are meant to do. And Comey just stepped right in the trap and opened Hell's Gate on himself. Oh, would not want to have been him trying to take a little nap last night. Coincidence or coordinated panic? What do you think? Does he deserve to be in handcuffs and in prison or not? Look forward to your opinion. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.